Let us show you all the things you have forgotten. The things you have forgotten. It wasn't so long ago. We all danced around.
Good evening, everybody. It's the Old Wolf here for another episode of The Witch and the Wolf Wisdom. Tonight's episode, the Deadpool paradox, which I will explain and get into later, but if you want to assume, please, by all means, go right ahead. Anybody who knows me knows that I tend to lean in particular directions. So yeah, not going to be anything fucking different with that. As always, the views, expressions, thoughts, opinions, etc., expressed are pretty much mine unless somebody else joins in and wants to share theirs. Obviously, any little dynamics that come into play regarding any particular intellectual properties or copyrights, I don't claim anything of anybody's shit. The music you hear in the background is mine. I wrote it, composed it, engineered it, performed it with other people. But yeah, sometimes we'll talk about other shit, hence tonight's title, The Deadpool Paradox. So yeah, it's been an interesting couple of weeks, and it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks going forward. A lot of things going on. A lot of things. Got the witch next to me.
Mercury retrograde.
Ah, fuck that. So yeah, it's been weird. We will have an episode next week, and then we are going to, in intents and purposes, going to take a 2-week break. A couple of things that the witch and I are going to be taking care of. Gonna have to hit the road for some family stuff, but also in between and in that process, a lot of new things coming down the pike. Something that we'll start talking about, and this will just be the generic reference: witchy metal.
Oh, good.
Ooh, wonder what that could be about. Hey, Jen, great to see you. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I mean, a certain witch I know has, I guess you could say, gotten a bit of a taste for some of the darker things in life.
Absolutely. I have a friend that's writing some lyrics, and there might be something happening. I don't know.
Again, witchy metal.
Metal.
Hey, JB, great to see you as well, too. Again, those of you who have been following us at all know that we dance around within the musical spectrum. We've done everything from, classical, kind of folk, Celtic-inspired stuff to deep down fucking metal and everything in between, some Allison Floyd as kind of in the background with Mama Rock's song.
I like that.
So again, yeah, little things that we do are, yeah, badass. It's like music. I hear music.
Hey, your music.
Yes. And one of the things, and up on the screen, and I definitely want to get to this, because Brother Fatass is, he's kind of into this. He does a lot of live streaming from down in some of the local spots in New Jersey where, you get some really beautiful musical moments, things that, you wouldn't get to see unless you happen to be in the area at the time. And I believe in the power of technology. It's one of the reasons I started doing this fucking thing. But one of the things that I'm going to be expanding on, and again, in reference to, is bringing in not only more dynamics of music, but people's experiences, their perceptions, their art, their poetry, their fears, their joys, whatever the fuck it is. We want to bring it out there. And I believe, again, in the context, strength in numbers, there's always something to be taken from it. Sometimes it's a little bit off the wall, but hey, sometimes it can be key. It can be the difference between a fucking shitty day and a not so shitty day. the whole
It's working
spectrum.
to be not so shitty.
Well, you're the shit queen, so I know you prefer
I got
them.
my magical ball of shit.
I know you got that magical ball of shit. See, now again, you and the fucking technology, I would think you would learn by now, but you don't. I will have to punish you later. I know that's what you
Please
wanted.
and thank
I know,
you.
please and thank
Threaten
you.
me with a good time.
So yes, we are definitely going to be expanding on it. Again, go to oldwolfmusic.com, check it out. I'm open to anything, okay, within reason, okay? Don't bring me underground videos of baboons fucking, okay? I'm just going to say it right now. The witch is going to veto it. Despite your best intentions, there will be no baboon fucking, okay? It's not going to happen. It's a personal thing.
Baboon.
She has her reasons, trust me. Maybe we'll talk about that someday. But maybe not. So anything, again, within the context, and especially, again, if you are a musician, but maybe, again, not like the Eric Clapton caliber that you've already got a record contract type of thing. Maybe you're just a karaoke person. I don't care. To whatever degree, obviously it has to be in a context that can be used. You know what I mean? Like, don't bring me an Etch-a-Sketch and think that I'm going to be able to create fucking art with it, because it isn't going to happen. But anything else outside the scope doesn't matter. Within stylistically, I believe that there's a case to be made in exploring different types of music, be it this or be it that. I mean, I found that out at the Autism Festival. Solos Borges, really great Spanish
fantastic
metal band, and they were really fucking good, and I enjoyed it.
It's funny, they're like, hey, let's do something in English now, shall we? Okay. And then we enjoyed their song in English, but man, their Spanish metal was banging.
Yeah, it was good. Listen, it is a dynamic that it doesn't matter sometimes, even the language barriers.
Yeah.
Because good music has a vibe. It has an energy. I've talked about this a lot. So yes, send it to me. Go to oldwolfmusic.com or email me at wolf@oldwolfmusic.com. No coincidence.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. Pretty easy.
I think I can remember that. Was that
I hope you can fucking remember.
oldwolfmusic.com?
It was something like that.
Oldwolfmusic.com.
Dun-dum.
Wolf papa.
Yeah, well,
Ah.
sometimes we play around with little things.
If
Now, again, just in keeping with the theme tonight, and again, as said earlier, and I will qualify it again, I make no claims who said such, and thing. But, however, if my jokes offend you, and here's a little list. 1, I'm sorry. 2, it won't happen again. 3, 1 and 2 are lies. I think this is great. It sums it up. Ryan, wherever you are, thank you. I would worship at your feet, but that's probably frowned upon these days between two white guys. So, hey, we'll just pretend. The Deadpool paradox. Now, again, before I get into this, and I just needed to have that segue moment, because it applies to a lot of different things. But I would be remiss in not talking about some of the people in our circle that we always try and make it a point. And we'll start with our sisters, Bobby and Sherry over at Moonbeams, which you're on cue. Whoa!
Yes, love my people at Moonbeams. I mean, my gosh, I have more Moonbeams bracelets than I have other bracelets now. They're my favorites, and I try not to give them away, but every so often, they call somebody.
How do they get to the witches?
But yeah, anyway, they make their shit well. It's good quality, and it's good energy, and it's good magic, and everything. Love it.
How do you find them? Come on, get to it.
I don't know, you're over there.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Moonbeams, Facebook and Instagram. Mention the witch, you'll get a discount.
Yeah.
We're on the fucking clock, woman.
Oh, it's a 2-hour clock.
Well, Mystical Moons, witch, you're on. Go.
Oh my God, are you going to do this to me all night?
Listen, yes, this is your part.
No, this is.
I do the music and the comedy. You're here to fucking promote the witches. It's a witch thing, all right? I'm a white male, all right? I have no business in the vagina dialogues, okay? I'm just saying.
Men are witches too.
No,
Men can
no,
be witches too. Yes,
that's
it can be.
we're warlocks and wizards and shit like that.
No.
Listen, I'm not gonna
use the word.
Hey, listen, we're not gonna play semantics. All right, I can identify as I want, and I choose to identify as a fucking wizard. All right, everybody else is running around doing their shit. This is mine, okay? And I don't like, you don't have to call me it. I don't need a special fucking bathroom. I don't need nothing. Just leave me the fuck alone.
You're a wizard.
All right, Mystical Moons. You can check her out at facebook.com/mysticalmoonslive or www.mysticalmoons.com.
Yeah, she's got some cool shit.
She got some real cool shit, yeah.
And she's been
she's a great person.
Some extra cool shit, so, yeah.
All right, moving on. Ta-da!
My goodness.
My sister Ashley Hawk. Hearts Creations. I can't say enough. One of the custom dream catchers that she did, an autism-themed one, was part of our auction.
Yeah.
It was a fucking hit. A lot of people were bidding on it.
If you want to see pictures from that, go to oldwolfmusic.com, and there's a picture of Ashley Hart's Dreamcatcher in that picture set. There's only
cool. More self-promotion. Yeah, go to oldwolfmusic.com. Check it out.
It's not self-promotion. I'm promoting.
Well, yeah, but you're emotionally compromised.
So I make no apologies for this.
Well, my sister creates some really great shit. She's got real magic, okay? Yes. Not this kind of, press board, assembly line bullshit. Everything she does by hand. She does it from her heart. Check her out, facebook.com/Hearts Creation, and that's Hearts, Harts.
No, it's not just Dreamcatcher there anymore. You got a nice little altar box.
Yeah, she's getting into some really interesting
she has another little
stuff.
Altar box out for sale right now that has this.
I'm going to have her come on one day, and we'll do a full fucking go through some of her stuff. Timing has just been difficult. I think her and her significant other just came back from a little well-deserved vacation of their own.
Very nice vacation. They did some rock hunting and found some great shit.
Yeah, no, listen, sometimes we have to escape the everyday and go on adventures.
Calgon, take me away.
Yes, but check her out. Now, not last but least, and, eventually we will be adding more into this, but my brother, Tony Rodriguez,
Tattoo Tony. God, I love
Broken
him.
Past, Papo Sticker Company, the Under My Skin Tattoo Shop.
Ooh.
A lot of great shit. Great guy, musician.
Majorly talented. He's remodeling his shop.
Yeah, he's redoing that shop.
I can't
Something
wait to
big.
See it.
It's going to be fucking beautiful. But he's the head of the Under My Skin for Life Foundation.
Yes.
And again, week and a half ago now.
Yeah, he put on a great set.
Raised up. Yeah, we played $12,000 for Oasis Farms.
Yes.
You know what I mean? No small drop in the bucket. I mean, I guess, if you're fucking Elon Musk, it's a drop in his toilet bowl. But hey, for the rest of us on ground fucking zero here,
to be able to put a drop in the toilet bowl.
Strength in numbers. Every little bit counts. And there she is, my sister Ashley Hart. Thank you for joining us. Welcome. We were just talking about all your magical shit, how people need to go buy it before you raise your prices.
She always shows up after we talk about it.
I know, it's amazing.
It's like we're conjuring her.
I think she just hangs in the shadow. She waits. I think she does it, she's got style. You know what I mean? So you never want to, come in too early. So she's got that down.
Yeah, definitely. She makes an entrance.
Yes, she does. And we'll get her on here one time and go into some of the new stuff that she's doing. I got a box from her. It's a beautiful.
Oh yeah, with that hand burned.
Yeah. And I have a necklace that my son made for me for Christmas that I only crack out, for certain times. And I wore it in performing. We're going to play a little bit of that tonight. But I wore it, and it goes in the box when I'm not wearing it, and it's a perfect combination. So there is power in symbolism. There's power in ritual. You know what I mean?
Yep, he has that box out where he can see
Just don't be touching those monkeys.
No, be careful of the monkeys.
Yeah, don't touch them. So yeah, my brother Tony, check him out. BrokenPassNewJersey.com, PapoStickerCompany.com, and that's PAPO StickerCompany.com, and www.undermyskintat TAT2.com, and that's obviously for Under My Skin Cat 2. You love that play on words. Wasn't that marvelous?
That was marvelous.
Simply marvelous.
Pardon me, do you have any great poems?
No, I do not.
Well, fuck
All
that.
right. So, yeah, we got the chat up here and stuff. I'm going to dance right into some of this dynamic because sometimes life is a bit fucking chaotic. So, as you would say, Mercury has been playing tricks.
Freddie Mercury is playing with Gatorade again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a couple little interesting dynamics, and sometimes, listen, when it's easy, it's easy. We can just cruise through. We don't pay attention. It's fucking groovy. When shit gets weird, that's really when,
It's getting weird in here.
that really defines certain dynamics.
I think we are well past weird at this stage in the game.
No, listen, and that's okay, and, some of it is unfortunate. You're dealing with some family aspects and stuff like that. So
It's not a secret. You can talk about it.
Obviously it's not a secret, but again, we don't want to focus on the negative dynamic. You know what I mean? For those of you who don't know, again, Shiya's mother is...
She's battling cancer. We're putting up the good fight.
And as Ryan would say, yeah, it's like the spin doctors playing at the Iowa State Fair kind of shit show.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to dance it. It fucking sucks. Medical system fucking sucks. It's all big scheming. Still, yeah. So we do what we can. We support the people we love, and we fight through. We live. I know a lot of you out there have danced it to one degree or another. We've lost a few people recently, unfortunately.
We have.
And why don't you go ahead?
Melanie France. Creator of the Bucket deck and some of my favorite Oracle decks and out there. She lost her battle with ALS this past month. And, of course, a sister that's near and dear to all of our hearts, Jan Ivy, crossed the veil, fighting a battle with cancer, was winning that battle with cancer, but post-surgery ended up with a staph infection, and that took her down. So the cancer didn't get her.
Yeah. Here is the Deadpool paradox.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah, we can fight cancer, but unfortunately, a lot of times, the thing that kills the fucking cancer is what kills you.
Yep.
Ironically. And I don't say that
Lightly.
without acknowledging the fact that, yeah, my way of dealing with it, to be blunt, is with sarcasm, is with humor. It is not meant to be disrespectful. And again, just in keeping it simple and keeping with the theme, for those of you, what I mean, who are new or maybe come on at some other point in time and are like, if my jokes offend you, 1, 2, 3. It's just that fucking simple.
Yep.
I'm not sorry. Okay?
Sorry, not
I'm not.
Not sorry?
No, listen, if anything the past couple of weeks have taught me, and you and I have talked about this, I'm done fucking apologizing, okay? I'm just done. As my mother would say, backspin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes things need to be said. Not everybody's going to agree. Not everybody's going to understand. Oh, well.
Sometimes it's laugh or cry.
Listen, I'll try. I will try to the best of my ability. But in the end, do you know what I mean? This is the path I walk. You can either walk with me or get the fuck out of my way. You know what I mean? There's just no other way around it. Now, again, that doesn't mean that I don't care.
No, because you're there for everybody.
Doesn't mean I won't stop and give you a song and a story and, a couple dollars in my pocket if that's what you need.
I want a panda dance.
Well, this is kind of my point. You're not getting a fucking panda dance. Okay.
Darn it.
Okay, that's not happening.
Okay, well, I'll try.
But yeah. Now, the Deadpool paradox, it has a lot of different analogies. The first and obvious one, and this is, I don't think, any real secret, but, again, for those of you who, may or may not be following or paying attention or kind of, with what's going on. Yes, that's our man.
Deadpool.
And he is now part of the Walt Disney family.
Or Walt.
So, the Merc with the mouth which for all fucking intents and purposes is the modern age equivalent to what fucking Monty Python was back in the day. And again, I get it. Some people don't like it, whatever. But as far as I'm concerned, it's fucking comedic genius. Right? It's the best thing to fucking happen to movies in a long time. Okay? That's just my opinion. That's my thing. The whole dynamic within the fourth wall and just simply not giving a fuck and just saying all the political correctness, all the fucking stupidity, all the rhetoric, all the dogma, fuck it.
Yep.
We're going to go there. Now, granted, again, there's certain things, obviously, that are not played upon. And we won't get into those. But we will say that the paradox, again, for Disney, and, part of their thing when they were putting this whole online service, there's not going to be any R-rated, we're a family network, and we don't want to corrupt our family. Yeah.
I think Walt would be rolling over in his grave.
Welcome to capitalism.
Right.
Shareholders are like, fuck that. You know how much money? And listen, when nobody else wanted to touch it, Ryan Reynolds was like, yeah. He put up his own money. Okay. Say what you want. But he, for all intents and purposes, carried that shit on his back and proved, in real context terms, not in just, some fucking ding-a-ling Harvey Weinstein, rhetoric. Here, come get on my couch. I'll give you a part. Translated it. And people fucking loved it. Okay? Now, people are always going to hate. Haters are going to fucking hate. Yeah. But the beauty of the Deadpool, okay, is you can take anything, okay? 2 hobos fucking in a shoe filled with piss.
Yes.
That's a thing, okay? In what other reality can you take that and actually spin it into fucking comedy? Now, Disney's, obviously, they've committed, okay? They know, okay? They're fucking greedy just like everybody else. And, let's be honest, it's not like they don't have a history of fucked up shit. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Let's exploit all the African men. We're gonna get it banned off TV now. You'll never see it because it's buried now. That's right. That fucking movie's buried. You ain't never gonna see that shit.
But at the same time, I still know all the actual words to that actual song.
Listen, again, even if you take half of what we suspect is out there, Walt was fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay, Walt was fucked up.
There is a lot. There's a lot out there.
Some people deeper towards the other end of the alphabet, like, MNOPQ, RST types, might say, well, it was all a front for satanic, pedophile rings.
Oh, yes. Wait, no, that's being run out of...
I can believe that a whole lot. Listen, I can believe that...
That's a pizza place in D.C.
No, see, that's my point. See, I could believe that Disney is a front for trafficking children a whole lot easier than I fucking can a pizza parlor in D.C., okay? Because, look, Disney's built with, all these things. Here, children, come over here and play.
The controls are for the Jewish space lasers.
Okay? And, a lot of people made... A lot of people made the case that, Michael Jackson just took a chapter out of that. It's like, I'll just build a really big playground in my backyard. All the children will come to me. Yummy, yummy. You know what I mean? Now, that doesn't mean that it actually happened. But you gotta question a grown man, you know what I mean, with a theme park in his backyard with fucking monkeys and having sleepovers with 9-year-old children. I'm sorry, it just doesn't look good. No. I'm not saying it's true.
If you think about it.
It's not as crazy as, like you said, Jewish fucking space lasers. And you're like, I don't know how we segue, but, leave it to the witch. But it is part of the Deadpool paradox.
We were talking about the satanic pedophile rings, which leads
to yes.
lasers.
This is...
You started that. Don't blame me. The witch is
Yeah, no. Listen, I get it. I get it. You know, and again, we want to be righteous and fair. Say, hey, listen, you know, again, if you want to dance on the flat Earth, just please don't carry it over on the rest of us. I guess I don't know.
Careful of the edge there.
Yeah, well.
Sorry.
But comedy being what it is, so now you have this dynamic with, you know, Disney becoming, really for all intents and purposes, is just like the capitalistic version of the Vatican.
Yeah.
Like Mickey Mouse is the fucking Pope, you know what I mean? And they own everything within like a 10,000 square mile radius.
They're in the walls.
Listen, you know, they fucking Marvel, fucking the Star Wars. I mean, literally, George Lucas went in there and from what I understand, basically serviced the mouse as part of that deal.
But dude, you look at...
Because that's the only way those last three movies would have been produced.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, George, you know what I mean? I don't know what you were thinking, but obviously the mouse is pretty fucking powerful.
Was it good for you?
It was not. It was not. Now, again, but here's the other side of the coin there.
Yeah.
Somebody over there at Disney realized, okay, listen, if we're going to take these properties over, we cannot fuck them up.
Yes.
All right. We have a whole world now. People are getting canceled for fucking simple, stupid shit. Ask Gina Carano how it worked out for her.
Yeah, that's
okay. It didn't work out real well at all. There's a fucking laundry list. Louis C.K., you know what I mean? Pulled his dick out at the wrong time. You're canceled.
Bye-bye.
Sorry. But amazingly, and this is no offense to guys like, you know, Joe Rogan, you know, he can bring on like the fucking crazies, but that show of his is making bank, so he's pretty much going to get away with whatever the fuck he wants to get away with.
For the mouse.
No, but listen, I mean, the mouse has got his hand jammed up many puppets' asses, as far as I'm concerned.
This is true.
All right, it is the fucking Muppet Show. But the good news with that is that that's exactly the kind of environment needed for Deadpool to thrive. Because not unlike South Park and Family Guy and Rick and Morty and Monty Python and Saturday Night Live and every other satirical comedy element, you need those dynamics to build off of. Yeah. So I'm sure Ryan's sitting back, he's just like, yeah, you want to make money? That's okay. This time, Deadpool's going to fuck the mouse. Okay. Now, those of you who don't know, listen, South Park figured out the pandemic. Okay. And it basically goes back to Mickey Mouse, okay, and Randy fucking a pangolin. That's how it all started. They went to China. They fucked a pangolin. Okay. It's all on Disney. According to South Park.
Okay.
True story. The paradox.
I thought that
listen, art imitates life.
Or the integrity weed.
Well, that's where
was a cure.
Right.
Okay.
But then there were obviously problems with that because it wasn't research. Listen, again, we're going deep down the rabbit hole, and the creamsicle never melts.
I thought we were going deep down.
Thank you, Ma. But it is amazing to the degrees that the paradox is that in one contextual moment, okay, we have this. And it's completely contrary to, you know, again, the rainbows and fucking Tinkerbell, you know, and you know what I mean? And you know, Deadpool's, you know, he's ready to teabag somebody, you know what I mean? And he's going to graphically describe it for you so that way when he goes home later, he can masturbate to it again. You know what I mean?
With his stuffed unicorn.
With his stuffed unicorn. Yes. I'm sorry. You know what? That's important. We need to define certain elements of things. Well, again, since we're framing this as free use within an educational context, we do need to get the details correct in educating you.
Absolutely.
So, yes. So here it comes. They've greenlit it. Ryan and company are going to come back. And every instinct, every fiber in my body knows he's like a little kid before Christmas. He is going to go fucking eat shit with it because he controls the rights to it. And there's a lot of fucking money to be made, and they want the money. So, you know, again,
Ryan Reynolds is
the paradox is, you know, nobody else is going to get away with it at this particular juncture. Now, granted, maybe, again, and, you know, the talk back in the day when the first one came out was this was going to open the doors for everyone. No, it doesn't open the doors for everybody. Listen, if your charisma is not above a 16, you're fucked. I'm sorry, okay? Ryan's got charisma bonuses, okay? It almost doesn't matter what Ryan rolls on a charisma check. It's beyond fucking. He's like, you know, he's like a demigod in that. But that is also something that he's honed, you know? And if you follow the guy at all, and if you look at him outside the dynamic of the artist, he's kind of that way in real life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He has this old school kind of Carlin mentality that, well, you know, people don't like it. They're not going to like something anyway. So fuck it. You know, he's just going to speak it how he perceives it. He's a family guy, but he's also honest in that dynamic. You know, the type of things that we're exposed to, you know, adults and children otherwise, you know, to have these ridiculous fucking debates about, you know, language. Yeah, obviously. And he says it himself. You don't want to bring your 9-year-old kid to a Deadpool fucking
Yeah, he did have that
show
version of the Deadpool too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, she gets it. But at some point, you know what I mean? You know, again, you put them in front of the news channel and, you know, you've got everybody screaming back and forth about, you know, whether or not we're going to nuke each other into fucking oblivion. You know, how is that any better? Or all the number of other, you know, dynamics of things playing out. And obviously, you know, again, as parents, you know, we have a certain responsibility to the degree of saying, well, you know, this is what we want our children exposed to. But I can tell you honestly, you know what I mean? Again, in my dynamic, having that exposure at a younger age definitely saved me in a lot of ways, because I think the dynamic problem, especially now in retrospect, is these kids have no fucking clue to a lot of degrees of the reality out there, because, you know, we're fucking dancing around it. We're, you know, creating these safe zones where, no, we can't talk about, you know, and it's just like, all right, you know, and then the first time they run into some real shit out there, their whole reality collapses around them and they don't know what the fuck to do.
Yep.
You know, and we've seen that with, especially post-pandemic, with, you know, incredibly huge jumps in numbers within, you know, aspects of mental health and, you know, depression, addiction, you know, all kinds of really ugly side dynamics. And, you know, I would rather try, and everyone gets a trophy. Thank you, Mom. I would rather try and deflect somebody with some fucking, even if it's dark humor, than, you know, start throwing pills at everybody, or worse, just, you know, sit back and, well, let this, you know, natural selection. Let's watch them.
And watch the world burn.
Let them fall through the crack. Listen, I have days where it's just like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just reset. I'm down, bring on the zombie apocalypse, whatever fucking variation. It could be Romero, it could be 28 Days Later. I don't even give a fuck anymore because I'm baffled by, you know, some of the dynamics of the things that are playing out. It is a fucking paradox that we have, on one hand, you know, insanity, and I mean blatant fucking insanity, and it's from all ends of the spectrum. You know, I was looking at a news report the other day out of Philadelphia, and, you know, we come through the Philly area a lot of times when we go into Jersey. But long story short, you know, like a fucking flash mob of like 40 or 50 disenfranchised youth decided to descend upon the Wawa, and as our group basically fucking ransack the place, rip it apart, just take whatever they want, strolled out into the parking lot while the fucking manager slash assistant manager slash whatever the fuck just records the whole thing. And this is playing out all across the country where the cops are basically like, well, yeah, sorry, not sure what we can do. They're not.
I mean, we saw that
prosecuting
with the
and going after these dynamics, because basically what's ended up happening is they don't have the resources, time, and or patience.
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying that as a fuck the police kind of moment, because I believe we need to have a dynamic of law enforcement to maintain at least some semblance. But on the flip side, when, you have basically roving gangs of youth who know that the cops aren't going to do anything, and I talked about this last week, we were down in Atlantic City, and they're just racing up and down the street like it was fucking Fast and Furious.
Well, and truly,
cops just, and zooming, nobody gave a fuck. Junkies basically with their dicks flapping in the breeze. It's like, hey, ketamine, you know what I mean? It's like, what?
Crack? Ketamine?
Now, once you cross the threshold into the fucking casino, oh yeah, their security was there, don't smoke a cigarette, they were ready to fucking drop the hammer.
Go to the other side of the boardwalk.
But as soon as you crossed out onto that boardwalk, it was a whole nother fucking reality.
Yep.
And then the further you moved away from the boardwalk, it just, again, an absolute twilight zone of an alternate reality. Okay. What the community actually is, what's happening. And again, it's not just isolated, to this place or that place. It's happening all over the fucking place. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you've got one end of the spectrum over here. You got crazy little fucking Nazi assholes showing up into, supermarkets and playing Call of Duty. You know what I mean? So you've got all this stuff playing out. And, again, rather than, scream and burn it all down, try and, spin it around, My context with the kid that shot up the tops is he was probably all dressed up, had no one to blow, you know what I mean? And when you're stuck in the closet like that, there's not a lot of places left to go. So it comes out in this angsty rage, and, you go and shoot a bunch of people that, make you feel inferior, you know what I mean? And especially for white little scumbags like that, it's obviously going to be somebody of color, be it black or Hispanic or Asian.
Somebody.
It's not that I'm a worthless piece of shit. It's got to be their fuck, you know what I mean? And yeah, so, they get to be fucking Call of Duty, heroes and create tragedy and stuff. And, the stuff that's going to happen behind the scenes when they get up there into the penitentiary, as Richard Pryor would say, oh yeah, there's going to be some funky shit going down then. And I guarantee you, 20 years of having your asshole drilled like the oil wells of fucking Dallas. Yeah, you're not going to be singing the same song. Doesn't change the tragedy, doesn't change the horror, but in any honest, practical application, what the fuck else, are we supposed to do? If we can't try and at least put some kind of spin on it. And I like to believe that it also sets the stage to some degrees to actually try and have a fucking conversation. Now, again, my man George, he would say, just put a fucking fence around fucking Kansas and just throw them all in there. Let them have at it. Just do that full-on escape from New York fucking routine.
Snake Plissken.
I don't know that that's actually a solution. I think the disease is much more spread out than we give it credit for.
Not something that's so easily contained.
Listen, again, Mother Nature, she has a way of just being like,
I kill all y'all motherfuckers.
This is a really bad case of herpes. So,
anyway, here, have a hurricane.
Yes, Florida, hang in there. All joking aside.
Prayers and thoughts and... energy.
Too many years, man. I just, it's like every couple of years, Florida, hurricane, disaster.
Well,
It's like,
it's either that or it's the Florida man syndrome.
oh, well, that's for another thing. So we're going to play around with a little bit of stuff tonight. As promised, I was able to piece together a little bit of stuff from the autism event. So the first thing that I'm going to do is the first track that we did that was introduced by Gotts down there at the Rat. Okay. And, it's a little bit piece of our history, but also, for Randy and for the guys and stuff and everybody that supported the event, you know what I mean? It captures, some of those dynamics. So we're going to pop off action live from the autism event, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes after that.
Are all about that one, and we can't thank you enough for coming down here and showing your love and support for the autism benefit. Give yourselves a big round of applause. 10 years doing it, 10 years doing it, going strong. God bless. How about that, baby? We got some paintings going on? Boy, make sure you hit up all the vendors. Again, thanks for all the sponsors, everybody who came out here showing their love and support for the autism. We were going to beat this bad boy, that is for damn sure. But right now, we're going to get this place rocking a little bit with my boy Randy here. And it's my honor and privilege to bring this one on because this is the youth of America. God bless America, and God bless this next band, and God bless each and every one of you. Here we go. On the count of 3, I want a huge round welcome for Pocket Full of Wall Street 2, 1. Randy, here we go, brother. It's time to rip it up.
introduction. Thank you.
So yeah, that was Action Live from the Arts for Autism. We'll call it a festival, because it was kind of like a festival in some ways. There was a lot of different things, wrestling and food and motorcycles and music, and a couple interesting people showed up, and there's a bunch of pictures. You can go to oldwolfmusic.com if you want to take a look at the pictures. Shot by none other than the witch herself, Shiya. Yeah. As you can see, she jumped in the frame, taking her pictures.
Yeah, taking pictures.
Listen, I mean, again, it was really, again, the kid that you saw, the young man up front. His name is Randy. We call him Wick. But he is really the living example of what we do and why we do it within the framework, at least, of this event that's been going on now for over 13 years. For all intents and purposes, according to the professionals, this kid was never supposed to speak.
No.
He was never going to be communicated. Yeah, they just fucking
forever.
Just fucking wrote him off. Yeah. Okay? That kid is anything but that. No. Okay? And I've said it before, and I'm going to keep saying it. We're the ones with the fucking problem, because we are conditioned to not look outside the box. We're conditioned to, if something even remotely goes outside of the, this is the accepted template, all of a sudden, you know what I mean? It's less than. It's like fucking old Sparta. Just throw it into the fucking mountains, leave it to fucking die. It's fucking insanity, okay? This kid has more heart and character. Okay.
And he is smart as fuck too.
And he had a blast, man.
Something that was in a different key. He was like, he noticed it was in a different key.
When Greg was like, "Yeah, we're gonna tune this a half step down," the kid's like, "Yeah, no, fuck you. You're gonna do it the way in the way it was arranged originally."
Yeah.
So again, and Greg is a seasoned musician. You know what I mean? And it was great. I loved it. I mean, it's like, you go. So the element that, he brought, he got up there, and he was really with us for the whole, he originally was, we were afraid, hey, he's, he'll come up with a song or two, and he wanted to be up there the whole fucking time.
He came to life.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
We're going to play another track from the end of the show, which again, really, I think encompasses, at least our part within it, with Randy and Greg and Bruce and Monkey and myself and everybody else, who came out, Jim Beck and Tony Rodriguez, Chris Miller, Chris Sherringer. My mother was there.
Yes.
Yes. So, again,
great time.
Strength in numbers. It was not Minister of Metal, Frank Tonra.
Yes.
For, putting together all the musical dynamics, you know what I mean? Kevin Ledbetter for bringing out the sound system as he has done for years. Yes. A lot of the, bands, Solos Borges, I mentioned, but others, Exit Strategy, you know what I mean? Spawn Ranch.
Thank you to
Legion.
the 10% of the people that do 90% of the work.
Yes. Somebody fucked up the chicken. I'm just saying. I'm not blaming anybody.
Oh, it came out.
Somebody fucked up that chicken.
It was what?
All right. We're not going to talk. I just had to vent that. I had to get that out of my system. But listen, again, $12,000 for Oasis Farms. That's good.
That's a lot.
That's tangible. That's not words. That's fucking action. A lot of people came out. They had a great bike run. You know what I mean? Beautiful. Everybody, got to and fro without any problems, any hassles. He had the wrestling, had, stuff for the kids. And
yep.
Yes, that was the quiet part. Sometimes I say shit out loud, but guess what? You can blame that woman there, Estelle Zubik, okay? My mother, it's all her fault. So you can direct all of your complaints, criticisms. She likes to dance. Now, here, full disclosure. Hold on. No. I have to say, full disclosure. if you think I'm bad,
No.
go dance with her. I listen, please. Okay? Find out for yourself. Please, go ahead.
My only comment is my compliments to the chef.
Yes, well, I am definitely my mother's son.
Yes.
Despite many years of trying to emulate other things. And listen, you know, this is the paradox. You know, sometimes we got to go through shit to figure shit out. It is what it is. So, yeah.
I like the end result.
Listen.
I'm emotionally compromised.
Work in progress. Work in progress. So it was a lot of fun. Now, there were some dynamics of things, and this is what happens sometimes, especially within live aspects. I go through it here sometimes in the podcast. Technology be like, fuck it, you know, Mercury retrograde comes in and says, haha.
Fuck all y'all
Yeah.
bitches. Yeah.
So in any dynamic, when you're doing live stuff, sometimes things don't work out. So there were a couple snafus that happened with the set.
One being my microphone decided it was not going to work that
Some of it was technology.
Yeah.
Some of it was just a little bit of the clusterfucky dynamic between, you know, bands and equipment. It happens, trust me, especially when you have a whole lot of bands. But also, again, to some degrees, you know, minutes, they compound. So when you're caught within a set, sometimes tracks don't make it. So there's one song in particular that we were going to perform that we were not able to. And for me, it was a little bit disappointing, only in the dynamic, because it's a song that, you know, really speaks to me. It was a huge influence for me as a young man and as a musician, as a guitar player. And the reason my mother turned me on to Jimi Hendrix back in the day. But we were going to perform Hey Joe, and we were not able to. However, Thursday night before the event, we went into Bulletproof Studios, and we ran through, beautiful studio. We ran through the songs that we were going to do at the event. And within that, Shiya was actually able to capture some of that dynamic. Now, again, technology being what it is, yes, I had to spend half a day ripping everything the fuck apart and repiecing it together to actually have not, you know, a good live recording. But again, for those of you who know me, I like to play around with shit. I very rarely tend to be, as I like to tease Shiya, milquetoast. I tend to go for, you know, I walk a different path. So in the spirit of
the way of the wolf.
In the spirit of the track, as it is Jimi Hendrix in the time period, I kind of took it and created
an acid trip?
Yeah, all right. Shiya says I created an acid trip.
So
we're going to jump to that real quick and then come back, because I promised I would get this on before the 9 o'clock hour. So yeah, this is Pocketful of Wolves in Bulletproof Studios. Now, I'm not saying the stuff that you're going to see was actually happening in the moment. What you hear is what happened in the moment, okay? This is us raw.
There you go.
But that's also the beauty of it. But again, yeah, I added, you know, some dynamic to create a little bit more testament to it. So yeah, this is Pocketful of Wolves live. Me, Greg Carshuman, and Bruce J, the three of us, just like the Jimi Hendrix experience, performing Hey Joe. So enjoy, and we'll be back. So yeah, that was the Pocket Full of Wolves. Hey Joe.
Woohoo.
With a little bit of hippy dippy spin. Again,
Psychedelic, dude.
I had to, play around with pulling, the footage and getting into a workable format. So as I'm prone to do, especially when I go on these little, technical adventures and stuff, I like to fuck around with filters and stuff sometimes. My mother turned me on to photography when I was younger. It was something that I didn't really pursue, but I have, over the years, expanded my technological base, again, within not only audio and music, but within certain video things. I've done all the videos, granted some of them in piecemeal, but I have done all of the production and all the stuff that has come through. So it was just like, okay, we're doing this 3-piece. It's a really raw take on it. You know what I mean? It's not obviously a studio. Yes, as my mother says, she hasn't heard me play that since I had band equipment in her living room back in the day. True story, you know what I mean? Yeah. And listen, as a testament to the dynamic of encouraging this, despite everything else she had to contend with, she tolerated and allowed us to basically play rock and roll in the fucking living room. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And I've always made it a point to carry on that dynamic. I taught my son, the monkey, he performed with us, and he has performed with me many, many, many times, over the years. We've written together, we produced together, and it is a family dynamic. And it's a dynamic that's going to now get expanded upon with the witch here now being part of the pack. And kind of as a follow-up from her desperate mind, yeah, the rumor is, and granted, again, you know how rumors are. Shh, don't tell anybody. But the rumor is that she's actually not going to sing she is going to be the voice on this potential, dare I call it, an album?
Wow.
Get me?
Crack.
Get me?
Crack.
All right. So, yeah, stuff in progress, coming down the pike. You know what I mean? Other things in the works, expanding upon, building upon. So back to the paradox.
Yes. I like paradox.
Listen, paradoxes can challenge us, but the very nature of a paradox means, at least in my interpretation, the unsolvable dynamic, you're going to have an empty space in there with a big fucking question mark.
Or two polar opposites existing in the same space. Contradiction. A walking contradiction that
to some degree
works. Even kind of like Deadpool and Disney.
Well, words tend to get thrown on to things, not unlike a rubber stamp. And I don't think that they're always fitting. Like, again, I'm not sure to what degree certain, you can obviously play it to that's a fucking paradox. But if you look deeper, we just don't want to actually swallow the harsher truths, the harsher realities. They're not comfortable. They're not pretty.
No, people would rather have their comforts.
So it's a paradox.
Yeah, no, it's not.
No, it's bullshit. I had an honest to God conversation with a self-proclaimed white nationalist on the fucking boardwalk in Atlantic City. And, no matter how you try and spin it, and I told him, and it was one of those ironic moments, a Nazi is a fucking Nazi, no matter how you slice it. Okay? If you take a Nazi and you put a clown suit on it, it's still a fucking Nazi. If you take a Nazi and you put it in drag, maybe it's a Nathan Lane production of something on Broadway. I don't know. But it's still a fucking Nazi, okay? Now, I understand some people have made the case, well, you know, this is conditioned stuff. You know, these people grew... Well, this guy was younger than I was. So he didn't grow up during the fucking civil rights movement. He surely didn't grow up during the fucking Civil War. I'm not sure.
Point to where it's like, own it up, Buttercup.
I don't see it as being a paradox. I see it as just, again, you know, not unlike a sexually transmitted disease that is passed down. Yeah. But in this particular case, it's obviously incestual because it tends to pass generationally within families. So, I don't know who's fucking who. Please stop. Please?
I'm my own grandpa.
I'm asking nicely.
I'm my own grandpa.
I get it that some people don't understand the dynamic, and I'm not saying that you got to run out there and do this or that. I'm just saying, fucking think about it in the framework, okay? Don't just try and just fucking dismiss it with a, well, you know, blah, 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 the Bible said, you know, fuck it, you know what I mean? Stop making excuses. Jesus never talked about fucking having people as slaves, okay? I don't care what the Mormons say. They can go with the Scientologists and they can all jerk each other off until fucking the rapture comes and Jesus shows up. And I guarantee you when he shows up, he ain't gonna be fucking happy.
I really hope the rapture does happen. And
here's my first prediction.
Left in peace.
Paradox. For all intents and purposes, Jesus is portrayed as, you know, the buddy Christ, you know, like, you know, Mr. White Guy. Hi! You know, white Jesus.
I will forgive all your sins, but only if you're white.
My name is Ronald Reagan, and I approve this message. Okay. Shock. This is what's going to happen. Jesus is going to show up, and he's going to look like Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Okay? He's going to be blacker than anything you can ever fucking imagine. Okay?
Maybe at least brown.
I guarantee you the Vatican is literally just going to, it's going to crumble down like it was made out of fucking Legos. Okay? Bang. You know what I mean? They'll lose their shit. But there's the reality, and that's from the Word. You know, the Word talks about how he looks like. I ain't no fucking white guy I ever fucking saw. Sorry.
Does it know?
Now, the irony is, there is a real paradox. Why should it matter? Exactly. Why is love and compassion somehow relegated to skin color, race? Doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? If you look within the framework of Buddhism, you know what I mean? When you move past the aspect of color, that we are all the same. We are living, breathing, dying, biological entities with a myriad of emotions and thoughts, dreams and nightmares and all this other stuff. Everything else is just fucking bullshit. It's spin. It's fucking old. Now again, I get it. We've got bad representations on all ends of the spectrum, okay? This is not, again, isolated.
There are bad apples in
you go to different places in the country and it just plays out in different ways depending upon who has the power. You talk to the Palestinians out in the fucking out in Gaza and they're like, well, we don't know what kind of racism you guys are dealing with, but we're just trying not to get blown up by the Israeli army right now. True story. Okay? You go to fucking Liverpool, it's a whole nother fucking dynamic, okay?
Yep.
Everywhere you go, there is a contextual framework for somebody being fucking less than. Because
somehow
some god or
feel better about themselves.
Some particular framework dynamic that, you know, my skin is, you know, an 83% pigment and yours is a 62. Star Trek did a really great episode back in the day. It was like the two guys, and one was black on one side and white on the other, and then the other guy was reversed. And the two of them were just locked in this eternal conflict thing. And it was Gene Roddenberry's attempt at the time to address the civil rights movement and just how fucking stupid this dynamic really is and has been. But yet it still plays out, you know, and some of it is done in a very subtle context, but some of it is fucking obviously and openly blatant. I'm sorry, but, you know, if you're a person of color and a bunch of white guys in fucking sheets and hoods burning a cross on your fucking front lawn, it's not rocket science to figure out and connect the dots. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, we've seen this play out before. Yep. And again, depending upon context, you know what I mean? Certain elements of language. Oh, you know, we can't talk about that. Fucking, I talked a couple of times how Dave Chappelle, you know, he started making some trans jokes, and all of a sudden he's the fucking Antichrist.
We need to
forget about the fact that it's fucking comedy and satire, and to whatever degree, in any element that you want to play semantics with it, it's comedy, and you really have to actually understand certain dynamics to actually be able to put the piece together. But I digress. You know what I mean? So we'll go off on a tangent there. Quentin Tarantino can do a fucking movie, and I love Quentin. Okay, I love him as a filmmaker. Not so happy that, you know, he had a fucking serial rapist funding his movies, and, you know, Harvey's gonna die in prison for it, so fuck you, Harvey. Nice work. Give Dogma back to Kevin, you bitch. All right, do the right thing. Do the right thing, man. Dude. But Quentin can, you know, if you've seen Django Unchained or The Hateful Eight, I mean, you know, you hear particular words, and that word that should not be, what that, I mean, yeah, yeah. The word that shall not be said, because I'm not going to get canceled, and I'm not going to say the word. Okay? But that fucking word is played out at least 500 times in each of those goddamn movies. Yeah. Okay? And I understand it's a movie. This is the time period. It has a historical reference and stuff like that. But is it not a little bit of a double standard to say, well, if a comedian, you know, goes fucking sideways and the word even appears, all of a sudden they're racist? No context, man. Now, I'm not saying to advocate it that, hey, like, everybody should be able to just go. You can't. I get it. I respect it. I understand it. I'm not trying to create a justification. But I do think that we have to have at least a little bit better consistency. You cannot justify a dynamic, and I don't give a fuck who's using it when you're throwing it out there. If it's okay to apply a context standard for, you know, Snoop Dogg, and I love Snoop, and this is no disrespect to him. You know, part of the problem is we continue to reinforce, well, this is a black. No, stop. I know you taught me to never use that word, and I make it a point not to. But we have to have honest conversations, or this shit will never end. Yep. It won't. Fucking Civil War's over, you know what I mean? And we're spiraling backwards with the insanity. Again, as a father and just as a person, again, using Carlin's analogy, I'm fucking sick and tired of the stupidity. Yep. Okay? It's too much. Again, we can agree to disagree on certain things, but let's at least have a little bit of consistency. Now, you can use that particular framework in a whole lot of things, okay? Because here's the flip side, you know what I mean? Somebody who's got money shouldn't be allowed to go on a fucking rape spree because, well, my family has connections and, well, you know, he was just a misunderstood young man. You know what? The only fucking thing is because he's fucking white and he had fucking money and he got off raping a bunch of people
Because they didn't want to put him in prison because it might impact his future opportunities.
Right. So you create these double standards on the other end of the spectrum.
Motherfuckers.
Now, and I talked about this earlier, I understand that there's a disconnect, and I believe in second, even third, fourth chances. But there has to be a semblance of sanity to some degree. And again, we're going to vary to certain degrees on what sanity is. But there's simple dynamics, you know. Context really does fucking matter, okay? And instead of just rubber stamping shit, you know, not unlike Randy, you know, oh, you know, his spectrum, he's never going to be able to communicate. You know what? Fucking bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We are wrong all the fucking time. Yes, and as my mother says, she can call herself a wop, but she'll smack someone who calls her a wop. I get that. You know, listen, you know, we're going to have the honest conversation. See, I just simplify it. It's just like, I'm an asshole. Most people are assholes, so I don't need to really get into any other type of dynamics. I don't care which particular variety of asshole. You could be a strawberry asshole. You could be a chocolate asshole. You could be a Puerto Rican asshole. You could be a Chinese asshole. You could be a, I don't know who the fuck I am, asshole.
You're my asshole.
I identify as a wizard, so I'm an asshole wizard. But I'm also a wolf, and sometimes I identify as an old wolf, so I'm an old wolf asshole.
Wizard.
But it doesn't matter. They're just words. Now, when it goes outside the box, I understand it's going to be difficult for people to get on the same page. Like me personally, I don't need a special bathroom just because I'm a wizard. And as a wolf, I'll just piss wherever the fuck I want. So that's pretty easy for me.
Ow.
Now, in fairness, that's not factoring anybody else into the equation. All right. But, and I say this again, with muy humility and respect, we don't need to be dancing this dance in an elementary school with 9-year-olds. Okay? No. I'm all for the dynamic that, again, context.
Context is everything.
But we all know that these dynamics are influenced by the surrounding things.
What the hell you say?
So I'm sorry if you're off on a wacko tangent and you just happen to somehow reproduce, okay, the fact that you're a parent and you decide to pass on your fucking craziness onto your 6-year-old child and then send them into the school to, you know, again, get some attention or, you know what I mean,
Lunch.
get on Hannity's show or whatever the fuck the context may be. No. Fuck you, okay? That's not how it works. And I agree. My mother has said it. You know, and I'm going to switch this back over because I'm not always on top of these things, but as the witch likes to say, we have to. There we go. We got the chat back up. That way anybody who's actually watching home, the studio audience, as my mother says, 9-year-olds need to be taught to read as many books as you have. Yeah, I agree. Knowledge is power. Knowledge gives us a framework, a foundation to actually process new dynamics, to adapt. Again, whatever words you want to throw on it, it really is crucial to, and here's a simple concept, survival. Yes, if you want your children to survive, they need to read as many fucking books as they have.
Yeah.
Okay?
Especially all the banned ones.
Listen, this Orwellian... listen, again, I do not support, nor am I saying that, 9-year-old kids need to have access to Penthouse. No, okay? That doesn't qualify.
We're
Okay.
talking about things like 1984.
Listen, again, within a reasonable framework, okay, I understand that we have to have certain boundaries, okay, within, aspects of things. I don't think a 9-year-old should be reading, any of the 50 Shades of Grey books or anything that is overtly sexual. Now, should we have conversations? Yes. But if we're going to have a really honest conversation, and I know my mother knows this dynamic, a bigger part of the problem lies on the fucking parents, okay?
Yeah.
You need to do your fucking jobs, parents. You can't just throw your kids off into school and then fucking complain because you don't like a particular dynamic, something that doesn't fit within your flat earth reality.
Oh.
Okay? Conflict of interest. I read Castaneda's, I believe, probably around 9 or 10 years old. But listen, again, in fairness, you created an environment right from the beginning where reading, the dynamics of education were important. You know what I mean? They weren't just idle, hey, by the way. These were things, like, I'll give you an analogy, how my mother punished me when I fucked up when I was younger. I basically spent half a summer copying the encyclopedia. Basically, start here, and start writing. So I started basically transcribing sections of the fucking encyclopedia as punishment. So, crazy as that sounds, it did have an effect. Now, there were a few times I got my ass beat for some stupid shit as too. My mother was not prone, she was like, I'll hit you with a spoon, I'll hit you with a fucking broom, I'll throw my fucking shoe at you. And, in fairness, by the time, I hit my younger teenage years, I was a fucking asshole, man. So.
And somehow you turned out okay.
No, listen, I had to pay some dues. I can joke about it now, and and again, as a parent, I got to learn some really crucial lessons that served me in avoiding some of the dynamics, the mistakes, if you will. Granted, new mistakes always come along, but some of the bigger pitfalls of dynamics of things I was able to avoid as a father. Now, there's no dynamic of perfect. You know what I mean? Everything is in a state of flux, so you can have one element of something affect something else, the butterfly effect, causality, again, however you want to frame it. This is the reality that things change. They'll get shifted sometimes for no particular fucking reason at all, or sometimes, because of apathy, or sometimes we just overplay, or we just do stupid shit. You know what I mean? Again, there is no true guide. Obviously, certain basic things, we can, I think for the most of us, agree on. Fire burns. Water is wet.
The hell you say?
Shit smells like shit. Now, granted,
flat.
If you identify as shit, then maybe that smells like roses. I don't know. I'm open-minded. I will concede. Well, listen, again, but in fairness, and again, I say this, with the luxury of perspective, times those dynamics, those environmental factors, they really do make a difference. We were blessed in the aspect of having better tools, better resources, I believe, at least. And again, if we're going to have an honest comparison, in my dynamic, I raised, one son. Granted, the Scarecrow, you can make a case that I had a hand in his, and a couple other kids to certain degrees. But for all intents and purposes, I had one child. You were juggling 5. That's a whole lot. That's a whole lot fucking different. You know, and as you said when you came on the podcast, you know, this is during a period of time where you weren't even allowed to have a fucking credit card. You know what I mean? This was still in the shadow that, you know, well, we're letting women vote now. I mean, what else do you want? You know the joke there. So, yeah, I mean, certain things, you know, being what they are, they do change the equation. Now, granted, and I'm seeing it play out now, you know, in the here and now, there's all kinds of new dynamics of challenges, environmental, culturally, that obviously influence, they impact, they throw the equation off. So, you know, you can make a case on, you know, both ends of the scale, but I'd like to believe that, yes, your prayers have been answered. You know what I mean? To the best of our ability. And I like to believe that is a continuation. You know what I mean? You know, we are blessed. You know, my brother Will has several children. My sister Felicia has several children. My brother Will actually is a grandparent before me. You know, the youngest brother of my mother's litter is the first one to become the grandparent. The irony. And he's losing his fucking hair. That's right, little brother. I said it. I threw you out there publicly. Only because I love you.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a wolf, so I have to look at it in this dynamic. I have to have some consistency in my shtick, as they say. All right, so we're going to cut out for a minute. We're going to get to...
Before you get yourself a...
No, I only... Fucking listen, I go after Scientologists like every week. You know what I mean? I've been throwing the gauntlet down in a couple of different ways. Now, granted, you know, again, sarcastically, I don't want to invite, you know, fucking bullshit chaos, but in the same element, you know what I mean? I'm not going to live in fucking fear.
Nope. Can't do it.
Oh, did he say the F word? Fuckity, fuck. Yes. Yes. Oh, I said all kinds of fucking bad things. Okay? You thought the part with the two hobos fucking in a shoe full of piss was bad? You obviously have never licked a beaver's asshole.
Oh, dear.
Yes, and that's what we'll leave that as we segue. Now, again, in all seriousness, this, for me, this moment, this last song that we did at the autism event really screams for a couple of reasons. One, because they said this kid was never going to vocalize. He was never going to fucking talk, let alone sing. So, yeah, teacher, leave that fucking kid alone. But it encompasses, at least for me and some of the people that are in my circle, Danny Watts, a good friend of mine, you know, came up, played guitar with us, you know, Greg and Bruce. My son, the monkey, you know, but everybody to their different degrees to kind of come together with a, you know, a bit of an iconic track. And the kid fucking nails it. So, Randy, little man, this one's for you. You kicked fucking ass. I know your mother's going to hate me if you're watching this, because, yes, Uncle Caca strikes again. All kinds of bad words. Fuckity, fuck. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jeanette. I can't help myself. Blame my mother. So with that, a little bit of da-da-da-da-da-da. Another brick in the wall, as performed by Pocketful of Wolves.
We want to encourage you guys all to sing along with us on this next one.
Alright. This song is from Pink Floyd. This next song is from Pink Floyd. Let's go. We don't need no sun to
much, everybody. Brittany, tell them thank you.
So, yeah. And then there was the stupid part where we've been muted for a few minutes having a conversation and my stupid fucking ass.
Kidding me.
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding you. People are probably sitting out there like, and yeah, again, as if to prove the fucking point, this is what happens when you go live sometimes. Yeah. So we had some dead air there.
Retrograde, sorry about that. That's why your mom was saying yo segue.
Yeah, listen, I fucked up. So for anybody who actually made it to the end, my humble apologies. Yes, I fuck up sometimes. I don't produce this dynamic where it's edited. I don't think it's honest. You know, listen, I don't begrudge a good production. Okay, but you know, A, I don't have the budget, and B, I don't have the fucking patience. I enjoy the raw organic dynamic, even if that means
earned your golden shovel.
Yeah, I earned my fucking golden shovel. For those of you that missed it during the segue of silence, the monkey came up here with pudding because I was making an offhanded commentary about, you know, how can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat? Because somebody fucked up the chicken, so I didn't get any meat and I didn't get any pudding. So the monkey telepathically, of course, being who he is, came upstairs with a golden shovel and a little snack pack of fucking pudding. That's just to remind you, hey, old man, that's right. The pudding days are here now. But as I posted on social media, and those of you who follow me, okay,
I know it's coming.
The best dynamic that I am looking forward to is one day, yes, monkey, you will change my diaper. Hashtag, I've shit myself and there's nothing you can do. Yes, it's a real thing. I started it. I'm the first person to hashtag it. I feel accomplished. Like I have actually made a real contribution to the social media cesspool that it is. But really, listen again, here, this is the circle. Complete fucking, you know, here we come around. You know, he was a monkey and, you know, again, as a single parent, yeah, you know, I changed his diapers. Listen, this little motherfucker, one time I was changing him, literally, as I'm holding him, just looked at me and shit in my hand. And just smiled. Now, he didn't have the benefit of, you know, communication or language because he was only, you know, I think, you know, 11 and a half pounds and, you know, not much bigger than a soccer ball. But in the dynamic, you know, I get him all nice and cleaned up. I'm holding there, you know, getting ready to, you know, and he just looked at me, smiled, and just spit in my hand. And it was at that moment, I was just like, yeah, this was what my mother told me would happen. That all my fuck-ups and all my years would come back. And that one day, her curse, I would have a child, and I would get it too.
And you would
shit in your hand.
But now we're coming back around.
Now, what's worth more, a shit in the hand or a shit in the bush?
I don't know. But I prefer to just shit myself because it's easier that way and less people to blame. But these are the things that I look forward to.
I mean, it's always fun to try and blame somebody else.
Well, yeah. I mean, I love the Game of Thrones, quote, you know, which one of you cowards shit in my pants? Hey, listen, you know, if you're in an elevator, you can make a play on that. That's a good place. You know what I mean? Because you've got a captive audience. Ain't nobody going nowhere. You know what I mean? That is what it is. Now, if you really want to take it that extra step and, you know, hit that emergency stop button and really, really ratchet up the, you know, the anxiety dynamic.
Oh my God, run away!
But, you know, and again, listen.
I'm like looking for the.
But details are important. You know, there's a big difference between, you know, a couple slices of toast and half a grapefruit shit and last night's Taco Bell.
Oh.
All right. We have
God.
to really, we have to
Okay,
define
we do
these
not
things.
need to be discussing the finer points of
But
shit.
this is the paradox.
No, I got enough
Okay,
shit
what
in my
if
life.
listen, again, in
Without
fairness, what if
discussing
somebody
the difference between
finds
good
himself caught in this
person-
situation? You need to know what to do. The best thing you can do is make comedy out of it.
Unicorn shit.
Okay?
That's soft serve.
It's not going to change the smell. It's not going to change the dynamic, but you might just be able to handle it a little bit better. And the people around you might appreciate it more. I mean, especially in that kind of shitty situation, what else what can you really do besides make fucking comedy out of it?
Right.
So yes, again, apologies for my technical fuck up. You know what I mean? I can't believe they were sitting there and the three of us are having a fucking conversation. And, I'm thinking, because listen, we use Restream, so sometimes the chat doesn't always come to us correctly, for lack of a better way. Welcome to the fucking internet.
Welcome, Mercury.
But in the aspect of the broadcast, since we do it live, it's streaming. So it's still going on. And to run it as a live production, there are little elements. We'll call them buttons, okay? And sometimes, when one forgets to click said button, ain't nothing else happening. It's just dead air.
Ain't
just like, yeah. Well, that's a cool nothing.
Yep.
So, yeah, it happened. It's not the first time. Guarantee it won't be the fucking last time. But that's okay. You know what I mean? Listen, hopefully, again, maybe, some of you needed, an intermission. You needed to use the bathroom. Maybe there were Jehovah's Witnesses at your door. Maybe Tom Cruise and the Scientologists tracked one of you down. You never know. You never know.
I mean, if I'm going to sell my soul for 10,000 years, I at least want 10,000 years worth of salary.
I don't trust any of them motherfuckers, okay?
Why is it that I have to give my soul for 10,000 years and all my...
Listen, I don't trust most people to make a fucking peanut butter sandwich, okay? It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Again, you can teach a parrot to recite fucking scripture. It doesn't mean anything.
Fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much. So, no. You know what I mean? Babble, babble, babble. You know what I mean? It's like a Peanuts cartoon. It's like...
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
See, I just want what's coming to me. I just want my fair share. Ketamine?
Crack?
Yeah, no. Bad. Listen, again, all joking aside, if you identify as a ketamine addict, please seek help immediately.
Yes.
Truly. Okay?
Not good.
Really.
No bueno.
Not good for you.
No
Bad.
bueno.
Bad. Huh?
I would not have guessed.
No, well, you're smarter than the average bear, so.
He's smarter than the average monkey.
But he does steal my picnic baskets all the fucking time.
Of course he does.
He's sneaky about it, too. I mean, least expected, like a fucking shadow.
He's either really super...
Dancing against the wind, you'd be all of a sudden, what was it?
No,
and then you're just like, oh, shit.
There are two versions of the monkey picnic basket snatch. One is where he's going real sneaky, and you don't even know until you reach into the picnic basket, and you're just hitting dead air. Okay?
Or the other one, like Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy, where he thinks he's invisible and he's just standing in front of you.
Yeah, no,
Just helping himself to your picnic basket, like I see you.
Yeah, that's
and your reply would be, no, you don't. You just think you do.
Yep.
This is not me eating your sandwich. No.
Yeah, the second version of the monkey snatch is definitely the blatant, in your face, ha ha, I have your picnic basket, motherfucker, what you gonna do about it? And the answer is...
Yeah, no, listen, I gotta give him points for style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's always a thing.
It's the crumb intimidation check.
That's right, we have a crumb.
We have a crumb. Chef crumb.
Chef crumb, indeed, yes. Now, I know none of this makes any fucking sense, but hey, That's okay.
We play D&D. Crumb is the monkey's
Yes.
character, and the monkey's character, just like the monkey, cooks.
Yes.
And cooks well.
Art imitates life.
Imitates
Life
art.
imitates art. So again, we're going to do an episode next week, I'm pretty
yes.
sure.
Yes.
Okay. Still hashing out a couple of details. And again, we'll post, we'll put some stuff out there. You know what I mean? Like I said, we're going to take a little bit of a hiatus. But, and again, I would like to emphasize, I really, 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 really would like anybody's stuff.
Yes.
Your shit, your dreams, your nightmares, whatever the fuck, your music, your stories.
World Star video that you recorded.
Whatever. oldwolfmusic.com. Go down there. Email us at oldwolfmusic.com. And we would like to expand and carry on that dynamic. Again, within reasons, as I said earlier.
If you think it's great, we want it.
Yes.
If you think it's fucked up, we want it. If you think it's pornographic, we don't want it.
Again, there are certain things in the which put in the disclaimer shit on the webpage, which is why we're saying go to oldwolfmusic.com.
Yeah.
Please just take a moment and read it, okay? And then, sure, yeah, send it to us. We'll take a look. Listen, there's not much that we will avoid, okay, as been evident tonight, and most every time.
Golden shovel.
I come out here. Yes, just is the way I roll. But I try and do it with love. I try and have at least some semblance of a thought process. Maybe, you know, a little bit will stir something, as we've heard. Take what you need, leave the rest behind. You know what I mean? Make of it what you will. But we're going to close out. I want to again put a special thanks again to everybody within the Under My Skin for Life Foundation
Thank you.
for all their hard work, all their efforts, their time, their blood, their sweat, their tears, and making all this happen. Again, I'm not going to go blah, 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 blah with all the names and stuff to say, hey, I love you all. I'm going to close out with a track I did last year, which has a bunch of the people within the foundation. Okay. It is, and was, and still is, to some degrees, kind of a bit of a testament to a lot of the people that had been involved over the years, and eventually I'll expand upon it and I'll include more. If you want to take a look at any of the stuff from the Arts for Autism event, you can go to oldwolfmusic.com, or you can go to Under My Skin for Life Foundation.
The link is there.
The link is on our page as well, too. You can also find it on Facebook.
Yep.
Or basically just fucking Google it. Good night, Mother. Thank you for hanging with us. I really appreciate it. It was a very pleasant surprise. But yes, definitely check it out. Submit anything that you got. We'll take a look at it. That's why we're here.
Yes.
So know that you're loved. Thank you again. And until next time, be good to each other.